And we can't be so simplistic with where it came from. Nothing is as simple as it always appears. I mean, I got here 10 years ago and basically decided to stay here because I felt it was a very nice community and an opportunity to raise my child without a lot of the problems I saw in Miami or Los Angeles. Well, lo and behold, you know, over that 10-year period, all these different people that move into the areas with different philosophies and ideas on how to do things, the crime came in, and I think everybody pretty much was caught sleeping at the wheel, so to speak, whether it be government, whether it be law enforcement, or just citizens who were assuming that things would remain the same as long as no one rocked the boat. Well, unfortunately, you got people in here now in the community that rock the boat and definitely want to control the boat. So unless you give a vigorous response in the sense of not so much locking people up, but coming up with constructive programs where people can actually go out there and start doing some things, we're going to lose this battle. And I hate to say that, but the facts are is that if you don't meet it head on, if you're not honest with yourself and honest with your children and start finding out what they're into, you're going to lose them because there are other people out there who work full-time 24 hours trying to win their minds, their hearts, and their souls.
All right, well, we're not going to let them win. I'd like to think we're not going to let them win. Mary in the East End, what's your comment today?
Yes, my comment is this here. I got a couple of them on this gang-related stuff. Is that, like my husband said, if the police would see these teenagers walking down the street with their reds and blue bandanas on, hanging on their head, their arm, leg, or wherever, out their back pocket, if they would stop them when they saw them right then and there and confront them and make them take them off, then I think that that might help a little bit. But I really believe in my heart, and I've said this many times, that it all stems back to the court system. When the courts made the word child abuse to parents, the kids adored that word because parents have not been able to rectify their kids' rights, spank them when they want to. I do believe there is people out there that do abuse their children, but if they could go back in the days when I was a kid and my grandmother would make me go out and get a particular switch off of the tree and spank me, I didn't get raised to be out here in gangs. And I believe that children today, if the parents want to rectify them, the minute they do or say they're going to, the child will holler, child abuse, I'll call child abuse, so the parents back away because the court system has made the parents so scared to take control of their own kids.
Right. Unfortunately, that is true. I would have to agree with you there, Mary. But I'm going to tell you, when I'm going to discipline my kids, I'm going to do it. Now, if they want to come and get me afterwards, that's fine. I'll give, you know, I mean, that's just ridiculous, though. We have to have control of our kids.
Well, I would like for people to understand that the courts are doing what they're doing based on what we do. I mean, we elect a lot of the judges in. We monitor a lot what's going on. But if we don't say, hey, we want this power back, you won't get it back. Because the courts aren't really into giving you back power once it assumes authority. It starts taking over and then putting out justice the way it sees fit. Now, if you really want to see the court system change, then get together with citizens who can vote and who can finance campaigns and get the kind of people in there you need to do what you need done. Otherwise, it's not going to change. Anybody who has gone through the juvenile justice system with their kid knows it's not right, knows that the people are overworked. You know, they know they're underpaid, and you know, it's not going to get any better until citizens realize that they can take control of the courts and move on that agenda. Wishing for them to change, it's not going to happen. It's going to stay the same. If you want to fix it, then go down to the courtroom and find out what you have to do to either replace a judge or to get your legislators to do something that will impact this juvenile issue. Everybody's talking right now, and you know, they're looking at 2-3 years down the road. It's going to be too late. They need to act. So if you're not satisfied with what you're hearing with downtown, then you get up and you go downtown and let your presence be known and felt, and tell them that you want something now that you can do now, not something 5-10 years out, because by that time they'll be talking about building more prisons that are larger than the ones they're working on now.
All right. This is so true. Sue in the South End, what's your comment?
How you doing, Dawn?
I'm fine.
I have a couple of comments. My first comment is that I think it needs to be, the glamour needs to be taken away from it. You know, you hear about, oh, it's my family, and you know, there's drugs that go on in gangs, and the money, and the glamour from it needs, you know, people need to see what happens. You know, you go to jail. You don't, you know, you don't hang out on the corner. And as far as one caller made the remark about, you know, the police not enforcing the curfew, the police cannot pick up these kids. Right. They can only tell them to go home, and they can cite them. That's it. You know, and it goes back to a remark that Mr. Addison made as far as, you know, the families, it needs to be targeted. You know, this city's got their priorities so far out of whack. We're building new ball stadiums and this kind of thing, but we need more money, you know, to fund these programs to get directly into the lower income families, because that's where, I mean, I'm not saying not just them.
Right.
But, you know, it's everywhere. But, you know, if that's all these kids see, that's what they're going to grow up to be. They see, that's cool.
That's
you
right.
know, and they look up to these people, and that's a sad, it's a sad society.
All right, Sue, thank you so much for your call. All of your calls. We'll be back in just a minute. Please join Jane Norris tomorrow. She will return. I'm Dawne Gee sitting in. And George, I'm going to let you have the last couple of seconds here.
Well, basically, I just encourage all people to really take stock of what they're doing wrong in their families. You know if you're spending enough time with your kids, or if you're not, or if you've been too hard on them. Start rethinking that philosophy first, and then go and see what the city can do.
All right. Again, we thank you for watching. Please have dinner with your kids today, or at least give them a hug. And as always, we thank you for watching The Jane Norris Show. See you tomorrow.